They are doing it the wrong way. That's why people fail. There are things that convert possibilities to reality. That something is possible does not need to happen. Every tree can make you.
Ladies and gentlemen, imagine being able to live the life of your dreams.
You can't rush destiny. You can't rush greatness. You can't overmake greatness. That's why among great food, Indomie is not inside. The simple truth is that everything good takes time. Time is important. Time is the most significant word in the word process. So it is in the process of time came and Abel came. In the process of time, meaning they won't be processed if there's no time. Take time to build whatever you are building. Time is vital.
And so tonight we will be considering the qualities of a leader, or you can say qualities that makes leaders effective. And like I said, depends on what you're reading. There are a lot of them. Some books have 20, some books have 12, some books has 15, but I'll tell you why they have it. You find out that most times we study leadership based on what men have done. And so when you meet a leader or someone who we consider a leader, and you ask him about those things, there are certain qualities they present. When we study certain men, there are certain qualities we pick out of their lives. That is how all these things are coming to be. And so one person that is studying some certain leaders will come up with a list. The bottom line is that when you check them, there are so many qualities that are the same. One person may miss one or two, the other person may have one that the other person does not have. But the bottom line is that there are certain qualities that leaders should have. If you want to be a good leader, there are certain qualities you should have. Check a video I'm shooting on leadership series where I talk about qualities for effective leading. There are just 6. And these 6, you will see it in positive leadership because there are negative leadership. So for example, you won't see empathy in Hitler. But don't forget, Hitler was a great leader. There are books on Hitler. He almost conquered the world. If leadership is about result, you can't ignore Hitler. You can't ignore Alexander the Great. But this man killed more people than helped more people. Are you getting the message? So when we are talking here, we're talking about positive leadership. Positive. The word is positive. Don't forget. I'm not in the school of thought that says the end justifies the means. I'm not in that school. I'm in the school of thought that states that both the end and the means are vital to my judgment. How you get what you have is as important as what you have. How you get what you have is as important as what you have. How you get your influence, I'm interested in it. How you get your money, I'm interested in it. How you get your fame, I'm interested in it. Because one person may work, another person may violate morals. And so when we are talking leadership, when it's me, focus, positive. Positive leadership. So your mind should not go around all the leaders you know. Just note that I'm trying to say that the leadership I'm talking about is positive leadership. Positive. Leadership is the art of inspiring people to act in a certain way to achieve a specific result. So it's about acting and it's about results. That's why I said last week, leadership is not position. Leadership is performance. Leadership is not position. Leadership is performance. Leadership is not about rank. So when we call you a leader, we're saying you are inspiring people. These people, their behavior is changing and their results are changing. Simple. So when we say, what will make you become that kind of a leader? That kind of a person that inspire others to change their behavior and to alter their outcomes. What are these qualities? Number 1, vision. Vision. There is no how you will talk about leadership and not talk about vision. Why? Because vision is very, very powerful. Very powerful. I usually say this, there is no visionary like God. And how does God behave? He begins from the end. Vision is the end. Vision is the end. It's the ideal picture of where you are taking people to. It's the ideal picture of the life you want. It's the ideal picture of where you are headed. Vision is actually the original picture of a fulfilled life. That's why it speaks at the end. You can't lead people without vision. Jesus said, blind man cannot lead the blind. Jesus was talking about vision. He was not talking about sight. He was talking about vision. Helen Keller said, there is nothing as worst as a man with eyes without vision. There is nothing as worst as a man that have eyes, but that does not have vision. Do you have a vision of that leader? And you know, vision helps direction. Vision helps direction because vision directs. If you know the end, it will help where you are starting from. And so when we talk about leaders, you must understand vision. Even the bad leaders you're talking about, they started with a vision. Alexander the Great, take over the world. Napoleon, take over the world. Hitler, take over the world. Mandela, a unified South Africa. You know, Bola Tinubu started with a vision. Dollar will be $1. But the vision is the future, so we're waiting. Now, that's what we're talking about. Everybody that wants to lead must present us with a promise. Why? Vision is a premium. Vision that you are telling us is a taste of what our lives can be tomorrow. Oga, there is a need for you to have a vision that when you present it to people, they will have a taste of what their lives can be. That's why I define vision myself as a preview of future possibilities that places a demand in your present life. Because I say this, if what you have seen does not force you to make an adjustment now, you didn't see anything. When I see your life and I find out that your life is very wide, I know it's an absence of vision. Men who have vision have a trim life. Vision is key. Number 2, integrity. This word, you hear it every day. Integrity. Integrity is a composition of 3 words. Honest, truthfulness, and ethical. And when you talk about being honest, you're talking about not lying. When you're talking about integrity in its full sense, you're talking about being truthful to yourself and to others. And the way you're talking about being ethical, we're talking about moral excellence. We're talking about you obeying the law of right and wrong, good or bad. Meaning, whatever you are doing is not harming anyone. Whatever you are doing is benefiting everyone. You can't start a drug business and you are cutting corners, knowing fully well that the drug will have a positive effect in day 1 and 2 and a negative effect in day 3 and 4. You are not ethical. That's actually wickedness. That's actually wrong. And that's actually bad. That you are making a lot of money doing bad things does not make you a success. So that's the second one. Integrity. Integrity. That quality is being violated everywhere. We don't see that quality in politics. We are no longer seeing it in the religious circle. No, people are no longer trustworthy. Why? Because integrity facilitates trustworthiness. Can we trust you? Number 3, decisiveness. Every good leader is decisive. Now, when we talk about being decisive, we're talking about ability to make decisions. But listen to me. Listen. Decisiveness is not just decision making. It is decision making at the right time. So when we say you are decisive, we are saying you are doing what needs to be done at the right time. You are making the decision at the right time, because you can still make that decision at the wrong time. You can still make that decision ahead of time. You can still make it behind time. But decisiveness, original definition, is taking actions in time. So when we say you want to be an effective leader, you must be willing to make tough, bold decisions in time. Why? Because you are meant to be taking decisions to make things better or to prevent something bad. Are you decisive? And when we say you are decisive, we are also saying that you don't just take decisions, you stand by them. You know, there are people who take decisions as leader when something goes wrong. They stop looking at themselves, they start looking at the team. No. When you make a decision as a leader, the fallout of that decision is on you, even if you needed people to run with it. That's why you are the leader. We're in a generation where leaders no longer take responsibility for decisions they take. And that's why some leaders are not decisive. They would rather the team take the decision. So it's easier to blame the team. You're not a leader, you're a manager. You're a manager. Number 4, accountability. The ability to give account. You see, when we talk about leadership, we are not saying you are bigger than everybody in the world. When we are talking about leadership, we are saying part-time. You are the one people are looking up to. Even though there are people you are accountable to. You are the MD, there is a board. You are the MD, you run the whole organization, but there is a board that checkmates you. That's accountability. So the CEO is accountable to the board. The ED is accountable to the CEO. The RMs are accountable to the EDs. The staffs are accountable to the managers. Accountability is about 3 words. Answerable for your actions. Acceptance of consequences. And amendment of actions. So you took an action. You stand for it. You answer for it. And when there's a fallout, you accept the consequence. And then you move to the third state. You amend where you are wrong. And if there's no wrongdoing, you move to the next decision. So when we say you are accountable, we are not just saying you have ability to say, I prayed in the morning. No. Accountability is about actions you have taken. Can you answer for them? When people come and challenge you for actions you have taken, do you accept consequences for it? Do you accept responsibility for it? Adam, don't eat that tree. They came to Adam and they said, Adam, you have eaten the tree. What happened? Adam said, now woman, you give me. He didn't accept responsibility. He didn't accept responsibility. And 3, you must make amends. Why? If you are wrong, make amends. Oga, you spoke wrongly to a staff. Making amends is apologize to that staff. Don't tell me things like apologizing to a staff can make you look vulnerable. Who told you to say rubbish? Who told you to say rubbish? If you have mouth to say rubbish, you should have that same mouth to amend the rubbish. Don't talk to people anyhow. Why? Because your will be need. Apology may be required. So if you are not willing to apologize, if you don't have humility enough, don't do that. Don't do that. Accountability. 5, communication. This one is very key. Every leader must have a skill of communicating. And the first thing you must learn to communicate is vision. Make it plain so that he who runs can run. And communication can be verbal or can be written. But when it comes to vision, you must be able to communicate the promise in the vision with the roles attached to that vision. People don't really follow you. They follow what you're proposing for their lives. That's one thing people don't understand. Nobody's working for you. Everybody's working for themselves. Your company is just a platform. If you know that, you will lead right. And that's why the moment they are tired of you, they look for somebody that can do better. Sometimes people have left good jobs for jobs that pay less. Why? Because they are looking for a better environment to get to where they are going. You may be paying them too much, but your environment is toxic. And communication is about not just vision. Communication is not just about speaking. It's not just about writing. It's about listening. Today, most of us don't listen. I run an executive coaching for the CEO of a firm in Abuja. And we had a session last week. And while we're having this session, I was trying to put something in perspective. I told her a story she told me. It's on the 7th of January, 2024. I told her the story, October. And she said, how do you do this? You keep telling me stories I've told you 7, 8 months and you didn't forget. And I told her it was not because I didn't forget. It was because I listened well. And ladies and gentlemen, our first session with her, that was the day she told me that story. But you see, while you are the coach and the big boy, you just sit and hear. I sat down with a jotter in my hand. And as she was talking, I was writing. Now, did you see the difference? Listening to her made me connect to her, not speaking. Listen, there's no connection in speaking. There's more connection in listening. There's more connection in listening. You must learn to listen actively. Free. There must be open communication. Meaning what? The lines of communications must be open. The reporting lines, the authority lines, they must not just be open, but they must be clear. So as a leader, it's your job to establish who reports to who instructs who. Number 6, empathy. This is one word I'm going to teach as a day. I'll teach empathy as a day. Before the year runs out, you are going to see a video on YouTube, on my page, on a topic called empathy. It's misunderstood. Empathy to you is, you are feeling what others feel, and then you are sorry. That's not empathy. Everybody feels sorry when they say a bad matter, but that doesn't mean they are empathic. Now, empathy is about understanding. 1. 2 is about relating to the emotions and the experiences of others. You understand, and then it provokes you to relate to the emotions and to the experience of others. Sometimes you hear people talking, and then a staff is trying to tell you the reason why certain things are happening in his life, and you say, I don't give a damn. Big man. Listen to me. Empathy builds connection. Just as listening builds connection, empathy builds connection. There are certain things that allow the people you are leading connect with you. Listening is one. Empathy is the other. There are 2 more. I won't say it today. But if you add the 2 more, it will form a word called lead. The word lead is that the person is giving you permission to lead him because you listened well, because you are empathetic. I can see somebody's ear waiting for the last 2, you lie. You keep watching me, then you get it when. So empathy is understanding and relating to the emotions and the experiences of others. There was a story about a staff. We were working together. He was traveling back to work. And then his boss called him on the phone and says, hello, where are you? I'm on the way to the office. And then he said, okay. And then 20 minutes later, while he was still on the way traveling, because it was a 2-hour trip, he got a call that his wife was in an emergency and they had rushed her to the hospital. So he called the boss, and the boss had only one thing to say. It doesn't concern me what you do. You just have to be in office. And I remember that day when they were telling us, I exploded as if it was my wife. Because that was lack of empathy.